Good day everyone, my name is Taplana Opeodisheso. I'm a member of NITP and a registered town planner. And today I will be teaching you on how to use a software called GeoTracker. The GeoTracker is an hydra software which normally used to create a geographical path on a phone. One thing I like about technology is that the more we wake up every morning, the more we see new things. I can see this GeoTracker was introduced to me by one of my mentors. Then he just introduced the software to me. Then I tried to understand the basics of the application. Then how this can be applied in urban and regional planning or in other fields also. This tutorial specifically, I'm dedicating this tutorial to Nigerian Institute of Town Planning, Ogun State chapter. What I'm going to do is now, as you can see this building, hypothetically, I don't really know I don't know dimension of this building. Then I'm going to use my GeoTracker to determine the width and the length of this building, in case to determine the assessment or to get the exactly width of the building. But before I get started, before I launch this GeoTracker application, I'm going to use a table to determine the length of this building now, and I also use to determine the breadth of this building. Then we are going to make the comparison with the two. Understand? Then I won't be explaining this thing. This may take a lot of minutes to determine because this is a field work. And doing a field work is not a thing you can just be doing and skipping, because I'm going to explain this thing deeply and how you can get this done. Then what am I going to do now? I'm going to get my my tape now to determine the width and the length of this building. Then, however, a GeoTracker is a GIS software whereby by the time you are creating a path or you are creating a track of this building now, is going to come with a geo coordinate. Right, so what I mean about it, will come with its own special references. Understand? Then what am I going to do now is I'm going to do, as I said, I'm going to get the width of the building and the length of the building. As you can see now, please move faster, please. I'm going to get the length of this building. Move faster, please. Once you get to the edge of the building, please, you should stop. Yes. Okay now. Then, as you are now seeing now, I'm using a 50-meter tape rule. Then, from this 50-meter tape rule, it does have the meters and the feet. Then, those are just a simple conversion between converting how to convert from meter to feet, from feet to any other way you want it. I want you to show you so that you can see. As I'm measuring the weight now, and you can see now this is the length. Let me say, I don't even know the length yet now. The weight and the breadth of this building now, because I don't know. Understand? But from my dimension now, this is what's going to make me determine which one of the size of this building that is the weight and the length is the dimension. Understand? Then from what I'm now seeing now, I'm seeing 34 meter. Understand? Which means the first side I'm now is 30.4 meter. Then as I'm now I've gotten the first dimension, and the first dimension is 30.4 meter. Then I'm now going for the second one to determine which one is the length and which one is the width. Yes. Okay. Then now what I'm seeing now is this is 26 meter on dot, as you can see, of 30.4 is the length, while by the 26 meter is the width. As we have already made the dimension, determined the dimension, we know that the length is the 30.4, while by the width is the 26 meter. Then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch my GeoTracker now. Okay, we are now back to the I'm back to my phone now. Then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch the GeoTracker. Then let me assure, in case if you don't have this software on your phone, then I will ask you to go to Play Store and download it. Then I'm sorry for the beginning. I say it's for only Android. No, it doesn't. It's not for only Android. It also supports iPhone. Yes, as you can see now, as you are seeing the GeoTracker now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch the GeoTracker now. Ensure that you must have installed it on your phone. Then I will click on GeoTracker icon now on my phone. I've clicked on it now. Once you click on it, one thing I will advise you is that ensure that you have a data on your phone so that you'll be able to use this efficiently. But in a situation you don't have data, it doesn't mean anything. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to give you what you need. Understand? Then once it shows it shows you the interface of the GeoTracker, I will advise you to this, as you see now, just tap the interface of the GeoTracker. You will see something like a 3 dot at the upper right corner. Then at the upper right corner, click on it. Once you click on it, that's where you could be able to do some setting or make some modification to your GeoTracker. For instance, now I want to change the map tab, or I want to know this kind of map this software is using. I will click on the map tab. Then as you can see now, you can see the scheme, the satellite, and the terrain. Then which one do you prefer to do? Then let me go with the satellite. I'll prefer satellite. Then as you click on satellite now, you're going to see some changes that happen. But the difference between the scheme is it will just show you something like play out how what we're going to do. If you can just try and just run those three options and see the difference. Then also now I'll still go back at the upper right corner of my phone now. Then I will now click. Then I've already made the changes to my map tab. Then if you have any coordinates, you can search for a coordinates. Then if you have any folder you want to import, you can do the same thing. If you have, you can do. But the more important thing now, I'm going to click on the settings. Then as I've clicked on the setting now, then the display setting, if you wish, just go there and do any other setting you want. Now under the display setting now, you can see the map provider. The map provider is Google. Then under the measuring unit, you can see the kilometer. Then you can wish just make some changes if you wish. Then because I'm working with I want to work with a meter because a linear dimension is a linear measurement. Then I can go with the kilometer is used to measure a linear measurement. Then the altitude always it is better to be an effect. Then whereby the degree should be the slope should be on degree, and the coordinates. Then as it is now, because we are working with a linear measurement, and then it's not that you can't work with a decimal degree, but it involves a little some rigorous calculation and other manipulation before you can get it right. Because see, there was one video I made on how to use GPS Essential. I tried to tell you why it's not advisable to be working if you are doing something. I'll take it something like very close to each other. It's not advisable to be using your what's it called decimal degree, rather than going for the UTM. Then from now I'm clicking on the UTM. Then let me say I've done with a setting of the measurement unit now. Then I can also go on the map type. If you have another thing to do, you can just go along. Because of the time now, I'm going to skip most of this setting, but I've done the little one. I know it's a bit better for me. Then now what I'm going to do now is I'm getting started now. Then as you are seeing the interface of GeoTracker now, then for you now to do, or for you to do, or to add to get these the boundaries of this building, which I've already measured, which is 30.4 meter by 26 meter. Then what we are going to do now is you click, you see this red icon at the lower right corner. Are you seeing it? Then that is the icon for the recording. Then what you do once you click on it, that what you just have to do now is going align the the building print. When I say the building print, I mean that the blueprint of the building, just like going around the boundary of the building. Then that's what I'm going to do now. What I'm going to do now is, then I will click on this red icon now. Then once I click on this red icon, then as I click on it, then you see recording of the track started. You can close the app. Then which means I can close the app now. Then from the starting point, I'm going to stay there for, like, let me say for 2 seconds, or let me say 5 seconds. Understand? Then once I stay there on the 5 seconds now, then one thing I like about GeoData, you can minimize this now. If I'm walking through the building boundary now, it used to be still recording. I can still go back there and stop my recording. Then and do some other thing I want to do with it. Then as it is now, yes, what I'm going to be doing now, I'll be going through this building blueprint now. Then I'm at the starting point. Then from here now, what I'm going to do now is, before I take my move, I will make a place mark. Then you can see this thing that look like a cross at the upper corner of the phone. If I click on it like this, then I can name this, change the name to location A and add, and it's a place mark. That's place mark 1. Then I can now move now. You have already made a place mark A. You might make that one maybe once you on your record, or before you on your record to in the GeoTracker. Then I'll click on the rec button at the right corner of the phone. As I will not be moving, as I'm moving, hope you are seeing the magic. Oh. Then as it is now, I've completed the side of the building. Then from here now, then I will now go back and click and now add another place mark before I turn to the second side. Then the same thing I did by making the place mark, clicking on this again. I will now need this one B. I now say add. Then I will now go again, running through my second side of the building. Sometimes it might not be that accurate, but you just have to. It's just a supplementary tool for you to have an idea of what you are going to do. Then I've completed the second side of the building. Then I will now make another place mark. Name is C. Okay. Then I can now turn to the third side of the building now. I've completed the third side of the building now. I'll be turning back to the fourth one, whereby the fourth one will now lead to the beginning of our tracking. Then I will now make another place mark. We have made A, B, C, and this will be D. I will now add. Then I can now move this way. I'm very sure you are seeing the red lines which the GeoTracker is creating. One of the advantages of this GeoTracker is it will help you with the geographical reference of that site you are working with, and hypothetically it will give you the dimension of your building. You see now, then if I wish, I can stop here now. I'm stopping here. We should have completed the four side of that building now. Then I will still go back and create another place mark to make it E. Rename it E. Okay, that's all. Then from here now, I can now click on the upper left corner of my phone so that I can see, map, so that I can see what I've done. As you can see now, what is today's date? When I was making this tracking, I made it on the 4th of October 2022. Then there's other work which I've used this software, this application, this phone software to do. But you just have to go for the one that you just do recently. Then this is it now. Then because I've not stopped the video recording, that's really why you can still recording. Then if I go back and I say stop, I click on stop. Once I click on stop, then I can now click on there. Then as you can see now, you can see it's not showing any recording again. You can see the 4th October, then 104 meter, which I've covered 104 meter, blah blah today, then which is 4 minutes 39 seconds. Understand? Then how many markers have I made? I make 4 markers. You know what I'm saying, man? Then if you see now, then even today one, you can see this one that has A. Understand? Then from here now, you can see this symbol that has that look like a polyline. Understand? If you click on it, that is the symbol of sharing the information which you have used GeoTracker to do. Then if I click on this now, then it will now ask me which kind of format I'm going to use. Which format do I prefer you to share it? Is it GPS, which it support GPS? Is it KML, which it is KMZ? Any one of you wish to go with, and you can choose now. Then let me know, see which one will I prefer. Then, and as this now, it prices almost like 4 or 5 things together now. I have a marker, which is the point which I use to mark each point of where I stop before I cross. Before I started taking another move, then I'll prefer KMZ because Z means that zipping it together. It means that zipping it together. Then I click on KMZ. Once I do that one, then it will now ask me which medium am I using to transfer the gotten data. Then I can wish to go. If you want to share it to someone on WhatsApp, do. But I will use WhatsApp. I will be sharing it through my Bluetooth. Let's get started now. Then I can say I will wait like 5 seconds. And this is my starting point. You can see this is the starting point. You can use anything to just mark the starting point. This is the starting point. Then I'll be moving around. I'll be moving aside the building now. I'll be moving. I'm moving now. You can see. This is how I will go around the building. You see, I'm going. Then, sorry, I've completed this third side, and this is the fourth side now. You can see I'm not moving far away from the building. I'm very close. And the distance between me and the building is less than 6 inches, which is 150 mm or 0.15 meter. Yes. This is my starting point and this is my ending point now. Then I can stop here now. Then this is my starting point. And I've come back around the 4 sides of the building and completed my routine here now. Then what I'm going to do now is with this now I'm done using the GeoTracker, I will just say stop. Sometimes, like this building is a four side. Then from one side, you can make a place mark here. Then you can make a space mark. If you make space mark for the first one, by the time you turn the first side, before you go to the second side, you make another place mark. Then once you complete the second side, before you turn to the third side, you make another place mark. The same thing before you finish the first side. Then which means that we are getting 4 place marks. Understand? A place mark is just like making a node at each point that you cross. That's the meaning of placement. I will be taking this to the office now and do some other thing. Then from there now I will be explaining as I'm using some of the software to extract this information from my phone directly to my system. Then I'll be explaining as I'm doing it accordingly. Yes, now I'm back to the office now. Then I've shared the data gotten from the GeoTracker to my laptop. Then I will advise you to create a folder because I've already created a folder for that file, which I exported from the GeoTracker to my laptop. Then what I will be doing now is then I will open the folder. Then as you can see, I name it a field data. If you could remember from GeoTracker has already named the data which you did on the site with the date of where the thing is being done and some other characteristics of the file. Then what I'm going to do now, as you are seeing it this way now, I save it with the data with KMZ. So that's why you can see now KMZ is a supported data which Google Earth understand and other GIS could interpret. Then as you are now seeing what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch this. But one of the reasons why this is showing this logo now is because I have already installed a Google Earth on my system. If you don't have Google Earth on your system, I will advise you to install it. Now, I think there might be a little bit difficulty in getting an advanced Google Earth device, but because Google Earth has moved from an application that to stand-alone software into a web software, whereby which means that you can now use Google Earth through the webs now by using your Google Chrome or any Mozilla in that one. If you you can get that one to do that one. Then what I'm going to do now is I'm launching the file now. As I'm launching it, you can see that it is Google Earth. But I will advise you before you launch the file, I will ensure that you have already connected your system, your laptop to the internet so that it's going to be streaming because this now it's going to be streaming online. Then if you don't get it, or if you are launching your Google Earth for the first time, you might find it difficult. You might find it difficult to see a very very good resolution. And as you can see now, and this now because my system is being connected to the to the internet, that's the reason I'm able to see very clear resolution. Then as it is now, then as it is, I will press R to flatten the Google Earth environment, and I've pressed R now. Then as you are seeing this now, you are seeing those placements that we did on the site, and then you can see a lines. This line is not just a line, this is what we call track. This is the track. This is the track. This is the exact position which I walked or I stepped when I was on the site. Understand? Then, but if you check very well, you see at this edge there now, you can see something like the line look chamfered, and here also. Then it will be difficult for us to get it effectively in Google Earth like the whereby you can just chamfer this. You can go by doing it chamfer in angle 90 so that it can give us a perfect angle, a right angle. But we won't be able to do that on Google Earth because, like I said earlier on, that I'm going to teach you one of like two way of doing this. I will manipulate it here, then I also do a manipulation of this work on the AutoCAD also. Then as you are now seeing now, but instead of me going with this track, I would prefer using one of the tools in in Google called polygon. If I click on polygon, then it will comes out, it will bring out the dialog. Then with the dialog now, then I can now, what I will now do is, and I will just ensure that and each portions of the placement that I did on the side that is being displayed on Google Earth, I put a pen at each placement. Then for me now to do that now, so that putting a point at each placement will give us something similar to a rectangle, a square. It depends, but don't forget that when we manually measure the length and the width of the building, we got 30.4 meter and 26 meter. Then what I'm going to do now is by how do it this way? Click on polygon like this. Click this polygon. Just look to the tip of the symbol. Yes. As you are seeing now, it look hypothetically a rectangle or a square. Understand? Then what we are going to do now is I'm going to with this now. I can go if you just this is just can if I'm very sure you should be able to manipulate your Google Earth. If you could not, let me just show you some of the thing. I'll go to the start and color. The under this area I will reduce the opacity. Let me use 50. 50 is okay. Yes. No, let me go back. Let me go downward. 30, yes, 30 is okay. Yes. Then the lines. Let me go by a width of, let me say 2 is okay. Or let me go 3. Let me go by 4. Yes, 4. Then I can change the color if I wish. Let me pick red color. Yes, as you can see now. Then with these now, I can go to the measurement. Then under the parameters, I will now choose meters. From the meters now, if you remember when we were on GeoTracker told us that we have covered almost like 104 meters. Then if you check here now, and then if you check the parameter, understand, and this one is telling us that you have this is almost like 117 meters. Understand? Just like we have 117 track meters. They're just like if you try and now make the difference between 104 minus, I mean, 170 minus 104, you can get a little changing from there. Which would be like 30-meter differences. Understand? Then as it is now, then one of the problem whereby you might get it wrong whereby Google whereby your tracker will get it wrong is has this edge now, which is that forms the chamfer edge here. If you try and perfect the thing, we might get close to this 117 as the perimeter, because this track now is showing that okay, we have covered almost like the geodata tells us that we have covered almost like 104 perimeter, 104 meter. Then now UH is telling us that we have covered it is almost like 117 meter. Then with this now, you can get the area of the land, which now depends on the area you want it in a square. Let me go by square meter. That which means that the building on its own is almost it is approximately to 854 square meter. Understand? Then with this now, if you're a town planner or any other professional, you can go along with this. Understand? But if you now see that okay, this is not okay, or you want it to manipulate, you want to manipulate very better than this, then you can still take it down to any GIS software, like taking it to ArcGIS, QGIS, or AutoCAD as you like it, as you want it to be. Understand? Then let me just go with this and press OK. Okay, as we have already gotten the area of the building now, then what we're going to do, if you remember when we manually measure the the length and the width of the building, we got 30.4 meter by 26 meter. Then what we're going to do now, we're going to check it through the use of a tools in Google called PAT. We are going to check if what we measure manually could be the same with what we're going to measure on Google Earth. For instance, I don't think if you people observe some difference, the size of the building on this satellite image which Google Earth is showing is different from the point which I made from the site. You could see now, this is the size of the building. This is the size of the building. This is the size of the building which the Google satellite is showing us. Then from the site now, if you check this this is the point that we got from the site. But let's just put that one aside and let us go to verifying what we measure manually on the site and what the result is going to give us now. Then don't forget that from I'm using each node, which is the place mark. We have place mark A, B, C, D. Then I will be measuring from there. From there, I will be measuring the length and the breadth. Then what I will do now is I will click on my hard part. As I click on my hard part, I might wish to change the properties of the part by increasing maybe different color. Which one should I go with? I've already used red and blue. That should I go with? Let me use cyan. Let me use cyan. Let me use cyan. Yes, yes, this cyan. Then if I go with this, okay, then what I will need here is this measurement. I'll click on measurements. Then ensure that you are selecting a meter, because what we measure, we use a 50-meter tape probe, which is a meter. Then I can move closer a little bit, zoom in very well. Then I'm going to type. I will press my keyboard, hard keyboard, so that I can have a flat surface. Sorry. Yes, I have my. Okay. Yes. Then what I will just do now is I will look to the tip of the pin. This is the tip of my pin here. Then I will extend it to the B1. This is the B. This is the B. Then if you see now, if you remember what we got from there, from the site, we got 30.4 meter. Then which means that it is approximately to what we get. It's the only difference that we have here is 0.4. Like I say, it's going to give an hypothetical measurement. Understand? What you measure on the site will be different from what this is going to give you. Then even from here now, I think it's even more better than taking the measurement of the building using satellite shape measure. It's different. As you can see, what I'm trying to say now. Then can we just go? Let me call this one the length. I'm just name it length. The length. Then I press OK. Maybe I'm the one that didn't do it well. I don't know. But let me now go for the second one. Then press hard so that I can flatten it. Click on the hard part again. Then just look up closely to the point of the pin B. Then let me go with this, the A that we created last. Let me just go with it like this. Then ensure that you click on the measurement. Then you see this one give us 27 meter. Then from what we measure from the site, we got 26 meter. At least we could work with this. Understand? But the difference is not that so much, but it is a little bit much. Understand? Because 1 meter is a little different. But if you check from the first one we measure, the first one we measure it is 30 meter, but from the site we got 30.4, which means 0.4 meter is missing. And then from this one now we got 27 meter, whereby what we measure from the side is 26 meter. Understand? Which is 1 meter. Then if you subtract that 0.4 from that 1 meter, which is the difference between what we have here. If you try to do this, if you try to calculate the area of the meter now by length and breadth, or the length and width, how you do it, then the difference we see in there is just like a 0.6 meter square differences. Understand? Then for here now, I can see now from you can now state that with the help of GeoTracker, you'll be able to do a little bit work, even more than what you could even expect as a town planner or any other professionals. Understand? Then you just need to get it right and know how to use it. If you can get that one right, you are good to go. I'll be stopping here for today. Then I will continue. Then we have already texted how to use your tracker on a Google Earth, and my learn lecture will be on how to. We will still be using the same data. We import it to AutoCAD. So we will now see how we're going to manipulate it on AutoCAD design. I still remain myself, Town Planner Ogbo Odusheson, then from KGIS. Don't forget to subscribe and comment to this video. Bye for now.